Andrew Dey here with Mark Hertzler from Unity Homes. We're at the site of the Unity Värm style project in the upper Connecticut River Valley outside of Hanover, New Hampshire. We did a tour of the shell of this house after it was assembled, and we're back here now because they're just about to sheetrock. We thought this would be a good time to do a tour and look at the mechanical systems, heating, cooling, electrical, plumbing. We'll get started with that. Mark will give us a tour through the house.
All right, let's go take a look.
Here we go. Here we are in the garage. What can you tell us about the garage, Mark?
All right, so this garage is actually conditioned. You can see that there's insulation in the walls, which is not typical of a Unity garage. But these clients opted to condition the garage. And you can see there's a mini split over there that will provide both heating and cooling for the space. And then one other thing I wanted to point out are the penetrations here for the electrical wiring. You can see this big mess of wires that are coming through here. This is where the main electrical panel will be mounted, right here on this wall. And you can see up there that there are conduits that go through the wall. So those are pre-planned conduits that we install. When we go inside, you'll see how they're taped on the inside. And once all these wires are done and the panel's all connected, we'll come back through and use spray foam to make sure that that area is properly sealed and that we control the airflow in between the spaces.
So we'll start our tour of the house here in the connector space.
This part of the connector is going to be the laundry room. You can see that these clients also opted for a pocket door. Some people prefer the pocket door, some people prefer swing doors. Either one will work. So as we were talking about when we were in the garage, on the inside here you can see the conduits where the electrical wires come through. And on that OSB layer there, then it's taped around the conduits, again for air sealing. And as I mentioned before, we'll also spray foam once all the wiring is done. Another thing I wanted to point out in this space is for the dryer vent. You can see down here that there's some spray foam, and that is where we originally intended for the dryer vent to go through. So there was a preformed penetration in the factory. Once the shell was erased and we took a look at it, it was determined that it would actually be better to run this dryer vent up the wall and then out up high. So it is possible we try our best to get the penetrations where we think they're going to be, but occasionally they move after the shell is raised. And it is possible to actually put new penetrations in, and we have a whole process for how that goes so that we can make sure that the air sealing is done properly once that penetration is done on site.
So maybe we'll just take a quick look at that penetration up high, and you can see how that vent has been taped around where it meets the OSB. We have other penetrations over here, Mark?
Yeah, so the insulated ductwork that you're seeing up above is for the ERV. This house is utilizing an ERV, which is an energy recovery ventilator that has supplemental heating and cooling in it. And as part of that ERV, it has an intake vent, which brings in fresh air, and then it has an exhaust vent, which exhausts the stale air. So you can see up there that there are penetrations for both the intake and the exhaust for the ERV system. All right, and then the other part of the connector here is the mechanical room. Got an electric resistance hot water heater there. There will be a pressure tank for the well in the corner. And this is that ERV that we were just talking about, which is made by a company called Minutair.
So the Minutair is doing ventilation. It's bringing fresh air into the house and exhausting stale air, and it's also conditioning some of that air as it distributes it throughout the house. Was that a question or a comment? I guess that was a comment. All right. Moving into the main volume here of the Värm.
Again, just pointing out some of the penetrations. You can see here, this is the kitchen wall. So you notice all the blocking in there for the cabinetry where that'll get attached. Up high here, we have a penetration that will be for the exhaust vent for the range. Up above, you can again see some of the ductwork here for the second floor air handling system, that ERV we were talking about. So here we have ductwork that's leading to floor registers that will supply the conditioned air to the spaces upstairs. And then down here a little bit, you'll see the exhaust ductwork, which will take the stale air out of those spaces and then put it through the system and send it out.
What are those little metal plates in the ceiling there, Mark?
Those metal plates will be for the lighting. So there is LED lights to go in there that don't require an electrical box. Once the drywallers install the drywall in the ceiling, they'll just roto-zip those circles out, and then the LED lights have little spring clamps. They go up in place and then spring clamp tight into the drywall.
So everywhere we see one of those plates, there's going to be a little LED ceiling light. Mark, it looks like something's going on out on the porch. Do you know what they're doing out there?
Yeah, so they're installing a wood stove on the porch right now. And we often have clients that ask for having a wood stove in their house. And we do have some blog posts on our website that explain the pros and cons of having a wood stove in a house, an airtight, high-performance house. So often what we recommend to clients that they want a wood stove is that you put it out on the porch. And it's could be considered a three-season porch. Our screen porches have the ability to install glass panels. And that way, if you put it out in the screen porch, you're not taking the air out of your airtight shell of your house, keeping that out on the porch. You still get the ambiance of having a wood stove out there, but you don't have to worry about having a chimney going up through the middle of your roof in your living space, and you don't have to worry about having an imbalance of air inside an airtight house.
All right.
You can see here, as most of our houses are built on slabs. These yellow circles are for floor outlets that'll be put in. And we can locate those according to where you think you're going to put your furniture. And then it just makes it a lot easier to put plug in lamps and things like that. You don't have to run cords to the outside walls.
And these look like they're actually above the slab. Is this slab getting a finished floor on top of it?
Yes. In this particular case, there will be a finished floor going on top of the slab. Often our clients opt for a finished slab, and in that case, then it would have been lower.
I noticed there's heavy-duty paper on these posts here.
Yeah, so these, they look like columns, but really they are square posts underneath that are part of the exposed timber frame. This is Nordic, is the type of material that's used here, and we just protect it during construction to keep it from getting nicked up and damaged.
Should we go into the primary bedroom suite?
Sure, so this particular design has the first floor primary bedroom suite. And we come in here, you can see to the right, there's the bedroom space. And then over here is a walk-in closet, again with pocket doors that are a set of pocket doors that will open up. And then in here is the primary bathroom. And this bathroom will have a double vanity, a tub, and a shower, along with the toilet behind me.
All right, and the blocking there in the wall is presumably for grab bars in the shower, that kind of thing?
Yeah, that allows for things like grab bars to be solid mounted once the shower enclosure is put in.
So I noticed there's a mini split wall cassette right above you here in the wall, and that's going to provide the heating and cooling for this bedroom space. Is there one that we missed over there in the main part?
There is. So this house and design will be set up with 3 zones. So the primary bedroom suite is 1 zone. The rest of the first floor living space, kitchen, dining, living room, has a zone, and you can see that mini split up there above the wall going into the connector. And then the second floor, and we can go up there and take a look. The second floor has 2 bedrooms and an open space. And that is a third zone, which will be operated by that ERV that we were talking about earlier.
The Minotaur.
The Minotaur, correct.
And so that space over there in the corner, that's first floor, another first floor bathroom?
That's correct. And this bathroom is what we would just consider a lav, so toilet and sink, no shower or tub.
All right, should we go upstairs?
Sure.
Or these look like they're pretty well protected. Does that mean they're finished stairs?
Yes, these are the finished stairs. They go in just before the drywall gets installed, and then covered up and protected during the rest of the construction.
Wow, that's really nice light up here, huh?
Yeah, nice and open. As you can see, there's another full bathroom up here for the second floor.
So sink, toilet, tub, and maybe a linen closet over there in the corner?
Yep, that's right, a linen closet in the corner. And again, you can see the blocking in the wall, which allows for grab bars and anything else to be installed at a later date. As we were talking about on the first floor, so again, this is one zone for the heating and cooling. And here in the wall, we have the return vents. And then over here along this outside wall are the floor registers. Covered up right now to keep the dust out of them during construction. But that's where the supply will come through the floor. Again, as I mentioned, open space here on the second floor, and then 2 bedrooms, pocket doors. And I believe that these bedrooms are actually also going to serve as offices in this particular case. One other thing I want to point out here on the second floor is the access. So there's an attic space up there. It's actually not usable attic space for storage, but by code, there has to be access to get up there, and that's how we blow in the cellulose insulation as well. What you see here, this MyPel, that's the air sealing here on the second floor, and then the cellulose insulation sits on top of that.
And are there any penetrations of this air barrier here that we would want to pay attention to?
I believe that the only one in this particular case right here is a plumbing vent. Goes up through this wall, and you can't see it because of the framing. It is foam sealed around there, but where it goes through the MyPel, the vapor barrier, will also be taped up and air sealed.
Uh-huh.
And then, as we pointed out on the first floor, the LED lighting will go in up here as well. And because they do not require a full electrical box, they'll actually just fit in that 1.5-inch space that is in between the bottom cord of the trusses and the drywall.
The lights themselves will fit in that space, so no need to worry about penetrating the MyPel membrane with the lights.
Right.
Great.
All right, so this concludes our walkthrough of this project just after the rough-ins are completed. The rough-ins are the electrical, the plumbing, mechanicals, which include the HVAC system. We showed you some of the highlights of that. Everything is done inside of the framing, and it's all ready for drywall now.
All right, and hopefully we'll be able to get back here to do another tour when the project is further along and follow it through to completion.
Yeah, look forward to it.
All right, thanks, Mark.
Yep.